According to the documents the committee received, Blackwater transported the shooter out of Iraq within 36 hours of the killing, and then it did so with the approval of the Baghdad embassy's regional security officer. Why did the State Department facilitate the departure of the Blackwater contractor suspected of murdering one of the Iraqi vice president's security guards?
As you know, the incident that you described is presently in the Department of Justice for a prosecutive review. I think that to prejudge exactly what occurred that evening, as far as the facts of the case go, would be inappropriate for me at this time. So,
I am not asking you about the facts of the case. I'm asking you about the State Department's response. Why did the State Department respond in this way?
At the time of the incident, after a number of interviews were conducted, there was no reason for him to stay in Baghdad.
Well, the committee had a briefing from Ambassador Kennedy last week, and he stated that the subjects of investigation should be kept in country because the investigators may need access to them. In fact, when you think about this, this is an obvious point. Why didn't you follow the policy recommended by Ambassador Kennedy?
You can't describe how a case should be handled universally. Each case has to be judged on its own merits, and Ambassador Kennedy may have had some other notion about the proper way to proceed.
Well, this is not an ordinary case. This is a pretty extreme one. We have a private military contractor within the green zone, which is internationally protected area, shoot and kill an Iraqi security guard. And what we saw was that within 36 hours he was ushered out of the country, and the State Department helped that happen. In fact, the documents show that the primary response of the State Department was to ask Blackwater to make a payment to the family in the hope that this would make the problem go away. There's even a discussion among State Department officials about how large the payment should be. One official suggested $250,000, but this was reduced instead to just $15,000. Yesterday, during the State Department's daily press briefing, the agency's spokesman said, quote, "We are scrupulous in terms of oversight and scrutiny not only of Blackwater, but all of our contractors. I would strongly dispute anyone's assertion that the State Department has not exercised good and strong oversight in our efforts to manage these contractors." That was the statement made yesterday. When I look at the State Department response to the Christmas Eve shooting, I don't see scrupulous oversight and scrutiny. I see an effort to sweep the whole incident under the rug. How would you respond to that?
I would say that the area of what laws are available for prosecution is very murky. I believe it's something that the executive and legislative branches have been working on to try and clarify. And I think that that lack of clarity is part of the problem.
So you weren't sure at the State Department whether this was a possible criminal violation when a person hired by a contractor of the United States shoots and kills an Iraqi in the green zone? There's a question of whether this is criminal? Is that why the State Department helped get him out of the country and gave the Blackwater a suggestion how much to pay to get rid of the whole incident?
That's your judgment that that's what happened. I was not there. I think that's why the Department of Justice is examining this case, and they're examining the potential ways that it might be prosecuted.
Well, it just seems to me common sense to say that if there's an examination going on and the man's not there any longer, you can't pursue some of those issues. And the ones to pursue the investigation are the ones right there on the ground. You don't get the guy out of the country as fast as possible and then say we did what we thought was a responsible thing to do. Even the deputy director of the Trade Association representing private security contractors see a problem. He told the Washington, I think it's a she, told the Washington, no, he told the Washington Post, Blackwater has a client who will support them no matter what they do. As I view the record, it shows that the State Department is acting as an enabler to Blackwater tactics. The company acts as if they were untouchable for a simple reason. The State Department demands no accountability. They're not accountable to the military. They're not accountable to the Iraqi criminal system. And the State Department, who's the contractor, seems to have acted like they're helping Blackwater get rid of the guy so that the whole incident can go away.
The incident was referred to the Department of Justice of our country for their prosecutive decision and follow-up. They're the prosecutors. The State Department isn't the prosecutive department for the U.S. government.
Have the State Department people been asked any questions by the Department of Justice about this issue?
I'm sure there's been conversation, but I can't
You're sure, but you don't know?
No,
well,
I can't
the
name
fact of the matter
when
is, it
and
seems
where.
strange that if there's this kind of situation, there hasn't been any action by the Justice Department to date. This is almost, well, not quite a year, but this is the fall, 9, 10 months later.